our music.
But apart from that, hearing the story about the three people where one woke up very early and went to God.
The three people.
The three people. There's a story where of the three races, how the races came to be.
Education.
Yeah, how the races came to be. So there was God told three people to go see him. So one person woke up very early and went to see God before the sun came out. And that person, the sun didn't touch them, so they ended up being white. Then another person woke up just when the sun was starting to shine. And that person ended up being yellow, brown, Latinos, Asians, such. And the other lazy guy woke up at around lunchtime, the sun burnt him, and then he reached where he was going, and that person ended up being the black person. And this is a story that's given to people to show that black people are lazy and white people are very hardworking. And it sticks with you when you tell kids this, and they're told even by their teachers this story. It just stays with you where you feel like you're inferior. And as much as black people in America will be there thumping their chest, I'm black, I'm proud, I'm what, when they look down upon Africans because of their skin, that means logically they're looking down upon themselves. And it's something that, and I say that according to me, Christianity is a white man's religion. People might say, no, you're wrong, but it's actually a white man's religion. I've never seen any Luo name or any South African name in any of these, any African name. It's just Joshua, what?
Well, from the aspect of religion, in terms of how it influences the train of thought, for example, people like Aries Spears or...
I wouldn't say Aries Spears, that's
No.
Black people
Listen,
all over the
I'm
world.
not finished. Let me just finish.
Yeah.
Understand? If the aspect of religion in terms of how it influences the train of thought, for example, people like Aries Spears, or for any African American for that matter, these are people who are resident in a very hostile environment, an environment that has to remind you of your skin color, an environment that has to remind you of where you're supposed to be, that if you make it up until to a certain level, even successful, there are elements that will remind you that you are black, regardless of how successful you are. So I understand he comes from such an environment, but then this guy actually sits down. You guys can talk about whatever you want. I'm talking about Aries Spears. He can actually sit down and sketch, jokes.
Was it funny? Let's ask. Was it funny? I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it is funny. Yes, yeah, fine. We laughed at that stuff. we laughed at it.
I think
we laughed at it, but then even after laughing at it, you ask yourself, where is this? He's black. He reminds me of a Somali I met who was darker than me. A Somali I met who was darker than me with colored hair, but still refused to shake my hand because
you're black.
I'm black. You understand? He reminds me of that. He's on his high horse in New York or wherever it is he comes from and looking down at me and thinks he can make a joke and people laugh at it and it's justified. We have to put these people in check. And I keep on bringing up his name because then this will be that landmark where other African American comics will be able to engage and be like, okay, Monaya had a point.
This dude has taken us.
This is music for border hoppers, changing shillings to dollars, dollars to kwaches, and kwaches to pullers, and pullers to rands.